Hi, it's Nick for the Run Testers, and this is going to be our first run review of the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite Fast-R, and it's actually a race video here at Pleshey Half Marathon, the Essex Half Marathon champs. My club, Orion Harry's, as club champs. I'm going to go and put them through their paces with not an all-out effort is the idea. The idea is to kind of do it more towards marathon pace, but probably a little bit quicker than that, and have a good day out. So here we go. So all set, all done, and then 1:11:45-ish, something like that, maybe slightly quicker. Idea was to kind of roll through doing 3K splits in around 10:15, and I was ahead of that pace the whole way, except for one 3K split, which is quite uphill, where I eased off a bit and then finished off strong. And the shoe felt really good, I have to say. It's got a lightning fast transition from this big firm EVA heel here as a heel striker. It really just kicks you onto this softer Puma based foam at the front there, so you get moved into that nice soft stuff, big pickup, and then bounce there as you go through your stride. It's a pretty comfortable shoe, I would say. For me as a heel striker, I got a lot of kind of forefoot pressure from slapping through on that very fast transition. So I think by the end of the half marathon I was thinking, no, this feels good, but I probably wouldn't go full marathon myself in this shoe. But if you are more of a midfoot forefoot striker, there's probably a more comfortable landing zone there than the way I do it. But in terms of speed, absolutely cannot be faulted. It's got loads of speed to burn. Like, it's actually not as light as it looks. It's probably it's heavier than the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3, for example, but it's certainly light enough. And yeah, really good today, rolling through at a good hard pace, an honest pace, even if I wasn't absolutely murdering myself throughout the race. So yeah, positive first impression. I'll have a bit more think about it, go home, and I'll talk about it a bit more there. So the Fast-R is the second kind of top carbon plate performance shoe from Puma. We're following on from the Deviate Nitro Elite, which was a great shoe, but there were some stock issues and no one could really get hold of it for a while, but still well worth checking out. The Fast-R is coming in a bit more expensive than the Deviate Nitro Elite. It costs £220 in the UK, $250 or €250. It's got an 8mm drop from heel to toe, and my UK size 9 weighs in at 238 grams or 8.4 ounces. Actually a fair bit heavier than the Nitro Elite, which is, I think, the lightest carbon plate shoe kind of going in my collection anyway. It's under 200 grams in the UK size 9. So the star of the show with the Fast-R Nitro Elite is obviously this decoupled midsole you can see here, and it's broken down into two parts with two different foams. So this big chunk at the heel is an EVA foam, and it's fairly soft, but a lot firmer than the Puma-based Nitro Elite foam in the forefoot for sure. So the purpose of this big heel chunk here is simply, if you are a heel striker like myself, to get you onto the forefoot of the shoe as quickly as possible and provide like a good stable landing. And to that end, it's kind of broken into little segments. As you can see there, there's like a cut through to around there, and I think so each of those little pieces of the foam can move a little bit more individually and give you a little bit more flexibility. Then in the forefoot, like I say, it's a Puma foam. It's actually a bio-based Puma foam. It's castor bean oil, so it's 100% sustainable, but they've not done that for sustainability. It's all about performance. So you've got a slightly firmer feel here, then a soft forefoot. It's a kind of decoupled midsole with two very different feelings to the foam. It's a really interesting idea, and it creates like a really interesting ride, I think. Then connecting those two chunks of foam is the carbon plate. It's Puma's power plate. You can see it's written on there. It stabilizes the foams in the shoe and then provides a little bit of extra ping as you go through your foot strike. Now the decoupled midsole allows for a little bit kind of more movement there and flexibility, and the idea of creating a slightly more natural feeling to what is a fairly unnatural looking carbon shoe. Then you've got a mono mesh upper with some power tape sections around the forefoot there, which just creates a little bit more support and structure. Otherwise it's it's a very lightweight, thin upper that you can actually see your foot through when you put it in, and then there's tiny amounts of cushioning around the heel there, but generally it just kind of wraps the foot quite nicely. It's all designed to be very light, but I found that it fits really nicely and holds the foot really comfortably on the run. And you've got a little kind of heel fin at the back here, which creates a little bit more structure at the heel, but also just looks sick, I guess. It's just designed to little addition at the back there. I'm never really sure what these kind of things are there, apart from to add a little bit of fun to the shoe. And the outsole, look at the great coverage you're getting on the shoe here, and that's Puma Grip LT, Puma's lighter version of Puma Grip. It's really outstanding grip, but even though it's a lightweight layer, it's still quite thick for a carbon plate shoe like this, and you are going to get excellent grip from the shoe, and that's really important, especially with this decoupled design. It aids a little bit in stability if you're getting excellent grip when rounding corners, and makes you trust the shoe more if you are a little bit unsure about the way it's built. The Fast-R fit me beautifully, true to size on my first run in it. I found it very comfortable, the upper indeed, really held the foot securely, no concerns at all in my normal size. So the Fast-R made a really strong first impression on me yesterday at the run. I wasn't sure, actually, going into the race, it was going to be smart to use it. I'm only a couple of weeks out from the Berlin Marathon, and I maybe shouldn't be trying out new shoes on race day, but I did a little run in the warm-up, and although it felt very unnatural at slow speeds and not that enjoyable, when I did some kind of strides and got moving a little bit better in the warm-up, it did feel like it was going to be quite a fun shoe to use, and actually gave the feeling, which is exactly what I'm after at the moment, which is that firmer feeling at the back, the stable feeling at the back, and then that 8mm drop that feels even higher, I think, because of the disparity in the way the foams feel. So you get that firmer feeling there and a softer feeling there, which almost creates an even bigger drop feel. And at the moment, that just really suits me well. I'm a heel striker, and this gets me kind of tipping forward and running well and keeps me going deep in the sections of races when you've been holding a fast pace for a long time. It's a really, really fast, snappy transition, like almost too much snap for me, like I mentioned at the end of the race there, because it did create a bit of kind of forefoot pressure for me. But it does really help your turnover keep going. Like the points in the race, going up hills in particular, I felt I was just starting to slow, but just kept rolling, good high cadence, keeping myself ticking over, and kept the pace good, even as I felt like I was starting to struggle a little bit at holding that kind of target marathon pace, slightly ambitious target marathon pace. Like I say, I really enjoyed the feeling of the kind of firmer heel today, but I was wondering maybe, because I was on, tired legs at the end of a decent training week, maybe if I was coming into a race fresh, having tapered, really my goal race, maybe I'd appreciate some of the softer shoes out there, because I'd be enjoying the kind of sinking and bounce feeling a bit more, with my legs feeling a bit more able to embrace that and use that bounce and really, power through. But yeah, I think thinking about tired legs, this kind of feeling in a shoe really would work well at the end of a race, I think. If you've got no problems with kind of pain under the forefoot or general feelings with the upper, that very fast tippy forward transition will just kind of keep you rolling, even as you really start to struggle. So yeah, it's a really speedy shoe. I think maybe it's not gonna be that versatile. I'll try it out in some training as well, but I do have concerns about versatility. I don't think this is the kind of carbon shoe you go, like maybe the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3, where you can just, I'll chuck it on for my easy runs and my tempo runs. It feels great kind of at all speeds. This felt very odd and clunky at slow speeds, but really comes alive when you do start running fast. So I'm sure it'll be good for sessions and probably still tempo runs, but it's not as versatile as some carbon shoes out there. Actually, the Deviate Nitro Elite, I enjoyed doing a lot of training in kind of on back-to-back days. It felt like it protected the legs well and was comfortable, and has a slightly, more normal feeling with the midsole being all made from the same kind of foam. The key comparison might here be the Deviate Nitro Elite, which is now available widely from Puma, and it is very light, and it's got an excellent midsole foam, and it's got a very fast ride, and it's maybe not quite as tippy forward as the Fast-R, but I think it's pretty much just as fast, and it is a lot cheaper. It's now much easier to get hold of, the Deviate Nitro Elite, and it is going to stay in Puma's lineup for the foreseeable future. So you have got two kind of competing shoes here, and I think both of them are better suited to shorter races for me, and both of them are very, very good. So maybe I'd be inclined to lean towards the one that's cheaper and lighter, even if I really did enjoy the snappy ride of this. I'm not sure it's going to be worth paying the considerable amount extra you are going to pay for it compared to the Nitro Elite. And then, obviously we'll talk about loads of other carbon shoes in the full review. I'll try and get out for a run where I use both of these shoes in one go to try and compare them on the run, in close proximity, and then we'll dive into some more comparisons to other shoes in the full review. But yeah, overall, I really did enjoy the first run in the Fast-R. It was great, and exactly what I was after yesterday, given the kind of timing around the end of marathon training and the way my body was feeling. So yeah, really good shoe, strong new option from Puma. Just not entirely sure right now if I'm convinced it's gonna be a better pick than the Nitro Elite, and then we'll look at some other carbon shoes down the line. So guys, that's our first review of the Puma Fast-R. What do you think of the shoe? Do you love the look of it? Do you hate the look of it? Are you excited to try it? Please let us know in the comments below, and then like, subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time on the channel.